Awesome. Well, I think we have 3 people, which is a quorum. So I'm gonna at 5:32, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if Leanne's gonna make it or not. I did speak even with Rachel yesterday, and she's hoping that once she her life calms down, she'd love to get back to attend some meetings if she can.
Did you ask her? Did you happen to ask her about her poster by any chance?
I did. She said she was going to send it to me. I just spoke with her yesterday. I haven't received it yet, but she did tell me let me see, the place was called Poster My Wall. So she said it was very easy to do. So I have not received that from her yet. And maybe I need to text her because she's just got so much going on. You know, her dad passed away recently and she's selling the house they had in Florida. And so there's a lot going on.
Oh, he did pass away. Oh,
yes, he did. He did.
Sorry to hear that.
Anyways, let me see. So what time is it? I think it was 5:32. All right. So let's just get started because I would love it if I can get a meeting beginning and over with in an hour, because everyone's time is valuable. So the first thing I need to look at is the minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
So kept that to one page, so that was pretty good. Any changes or additions to the minutes as written? This is the minutes of February 8th.
I'll move acceptance of the minutes, February
8th. Awesome. Let's see. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I guess that's up to you, Nancy. All right.
Got it.
All right. And any discussion of the minutes? No? Okay.
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right. I'm not gonna, okay. All right. Now, I do not have any new business. Does anybody else have any new business?
Nope.
Nada? Okay. Communications, I did this incorrectly. Under communications, by me writing these 2 people, that was my reminder that I needed to bring that up. But in actuality, that got Lisa thinking that maybe they were actually speaking. So that was not the case. Those were just people that I'd heard from. Before I launch into my communications list, does anybody else have any communications that they received from anyone?
No.
Okay, well, so I sent you all the letter from Brian Kent, who was the one who originally wrote up that little plan that I sent to you, and his response. And I know we will be talking about that a little bit later under the Avery Memorial, Bruce. But I know I wanted you guys to see what he said. He's a landscape architect. I've been going back and forth quite a bit with Greg Hanover because basically Greg Hanover, he does a lot. He has a very busy job. And so I've been talking with him about the trash cans. Tabitha, did you get that? Yeah, wasn't that cool? So, but also about the garbage cans, and also about the spring trash cleanup. So he's like my go-to guy. So I've been having a lot of correspondence with him. I spoke with Kim Parker, who answered the phone, and I spoke with her at length at Critical Signs. She was delightful. I just need to send her, which is my technology background. My lack of technology background slows me down. I need to send her a couple pictures of utility boxes, and I was going to send her just the color scheme that we're working with right now, from the signage that we're going to implement, just to give her an idea of some colors that might be used. This is with regards to wrapping the utility boxes. So I spoke with her. She's delightful. I just haven't taken the next step of sending her what she needs. And
Cindy,
let
me ask you a question. So we do have somebody that knows how to do that then?
She was lovely. She said they can design it, we can design it. It's exactly like you said, it's the vinyl wrap. They do it professionally. I asked her, like how long it lasts. And she's like, depends on how much sun it's exposed to. The only thing is, until I send her some type of idea, I was actually going to send her the picture that you sent us, Bruce, with the crosswalk, like the girl with the crosswalk, that one. And then I was going to send her just a picture of the Groton Explore More logo and the compass rose,
Mhm.
and just for ideas and colorations. And then she'd need to see the size of the boxes. So actually I took pictures of the boxes, but I didn't measure them. And then she could kind of give us a ballpark price, but they definitely do it at Critical Science in Waterford.
Where are they located?
They're right, have you ever been to the Speedway? The
Oh, yeah. You mean the Waterford Speedway?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
on that road on 85 before you get to the Waterford Speedway.
okay.
So it's
All right,
pretty
good.
close. And I think,
Terrific. Wow.
wasn't
That's
it?
a problem solved then. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So I just don't know. And the other interesting thing is, and Tabitha, I think I did email you already. She says they actually have an account with Groton Utilities. They do all their signage and stuff. So that might help grease the wheels.
Well, I don't want to put a bucket of cold water on that, but I talked to Groton Utilities. I gave them the list of all the
Mhm.
boxes we looked at, and he said that those are all Connecticut dot boxes. So I've been searching around for a contact at Connecticut dot. He gave me a number that was out of service.
Mhm.
I left a message with them the other day, and I was going to follow up until I get an answer. But
So where would do they have any kind of utility boxes out there then?
Groton Utilities,
Yeah.
he said they did, but when I identified, like when I sent him the ones that we had looked at and all the numbers, he said those are all Connecticut dot ones.
Okay.
Connecticut dot, is that the DOT? Is that what that
DOT,
is?
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is that interesting? Wow.
be someone at the DOT that would know.
Well, it's just that she
And do
had
these have to do crosswalks and things like that?
yes, those big utility boxes near the crosswalks. That's where that's what most of them were. Not all of them were near a crosswalk, but I may not have sent all of them to you because the file was too big, Tabitha. So I have pictures of a couple more because there were a couple that are just like across from, like there's one in front of Quantic Plains Park, which I didn't take a picture of. Maybe that would be a Groton Utilities one. I mean, I can take more pictures. I was just trying to get a handful. Like, obviously we can't do all of them. So I was trying to get a handful. I was also took pictures.
Leanne sent me some too that I haven't sent to my contact at Groton Utilities yet. So maybe some of those.
Yeah, and I also picked, there's one in front of Dairy Queen. There's one in front of the Spot. There's one across the street from Chelsea Groton. So I was thinking, wouldn't that be neat if we could get their buy-in? But if we've got to get, I have no idea if the DOT would allow us to do that or not. But you know what? I can call Kim and ask her if they'd have ever done any work with anything other than a local.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. All
And
right.
if anybody has a Connecticut DOT contact, I mean, the way to get in is to know somebody. And
Yeah, exactly.
I just have the
The
general.
guys that are up in Norwich, are those the guys right off of I-395 that are up in Norwich on exit 82?
Yeah, I don't know where their office is.
I think that's where they are. I've been up there before on a
No, we were
couple of.
talking about like all the boxes being owned by the DOT. Like, how do you reach the DOT who takes care of the utility boxes in our area in Groton? So that's a question.
Well, maybe we need to go through Christine Connolly might have a contact, a direct contact.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
Who's that?
Chris Conley's the state rep who,
Oh.
so we have Joe Delacruz and Chris Conley. So I'd be happy to send her an email and let her know what we're trying to do and see if she has contact.
And it would be nice to have her support as well and work that way.
Yeah, she's, I would imagine that wouldn't be a hard sell because she's definitely a Groton, she's all for Groton.
Pretty good. I just talked to her a couple weeks ago about something else. I forgot completely about that utility boxes thing. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it to her. But yeah, I'm sure she would be in our corner.
Yeah, okay. Actually, before I forget, when are you coming back again, Bruce?
I'm leaving here April 15th, all God willing.
Okay. All right. Are you, you're still lovely there, right? It's not not yet?
Well, no, it's beautiful down here. The only problem is I have my second COVID shot and it feels like I've got COVID. I've had it for like
Okay.
about a week now. So,
It's still sore?
no, my arm isn't sore, but I just feel like I've got, you know what happens when you get the flu, you get
Yeah.
that kind of fatigued kind of feeling
Yeah.
and
Which-
stuff like that. That's
all right,
what
which
my wife
formula-
has the
what
same
form-
thing.
What formula did you get?
Got Moderna.
I got Moderna and I didn't have any symptoms at all.
Yeah. Some people don't have
You
any
must be
symptoms at
younger
all.
than me.
Yeah.
That must be it. Because the older
I
you
don't
get,
know.
supposedly the easier it is. So you're a youngster.
Yeah, right.
I also wanted to mention that I got a couple really nice emails from Patrice Granatowski. Obviously she's very, one is about the Shinnecock Golf Course and the grasses they have growing there. And if we could somehow, she even sent me pictures, how they kind of are overgrown and could we maybe move them? I was going to send her, which I haven't yet, the drawings that Tabitha did, the Groton planting concepts, because that would, I'm not exactly sure what type of grasses these are. They're planted by the golf course signs, I guess. Oh wait, is that what it, and then she also sent me a asphalt art. So Mayor Bloomberg or ex-Mayor Bloomberg does a huge he's a huge philanthropist, and he's does asphalt art. They give grants for all kinds of beautification through asphalt, exactly what we're talking about. Although, these were crosswalks and especially large intersections that people did beautiful work for. And I've got, a matter of fact, maybe I should send that to all of you. We could apply, but of course, we need to have an idea. A number of months ago, Leanne, if we had talked about maybe doing a compass rose at the Route 1 and Route 117 junction. But once again, we don't have that. And also when I spoke with Greg Hanover about even doing a crosswalk, that's not a local, I don't believe Route 1 is a local road. So I'm not.
No, it's not, it's a state road.
State road, so then you have to get the state approval, which then you get into that can of worms,
Again.
I think if we stick to
What do those compass
plantings
rose
right
look
now-
like? Have you seen a picture of the compass rose?
I don't think we were talking, the compass rose for the Groton signage is one, it's 4 different colors. We were talking about kind of a very traditional compass rose that would be big. And the ones I've seen usually have the, north, south, east, west, that kind of a thing. So, but we don't have any kind of design. Plus, even if we had a design with the state, so we definitely need to, I need to definitely reach out to, if we could, we don't want to like just throw up our hands and throw in the towel. But I also want to make sure it would be really nice if we could get a couple things accomplished that didn't involve the state.
I would agree with that, Cindy. I've worked on projects in other towns, and it's always they don't want to maintain something like that.
Right.
Why don't we concentrate on our plantings? We had started out with the plantings. I think if we can get those going, instead of trying to do too many things at once, with the sign that's going in at 117 and 1, really work on that and get that going, because it needs to be planted this spring. And I love Tabitha's ideas for the plantings there. And work on Shinnecock because we had those ideas as well. I'd like to see us send out a letter looking for money from different businesses and banks and everyone along Route 1 through the center of Groton, so that they know what we're trying to do, who we are, that we are not a 501c3, unfortunately, but that we are working on behalf of the town to make it more beautiful, yada, 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 and looking for some funds.
Right, but you have to.
And
tell people
I
what
think
the
if
funds
we
would be
concentrate
for.
on those things along with, I'm sorry?
We have to tell them what the funds would be for. Right now, we don't have, and we talked about landscape and art, because art is gonna really pull the corridor together, because the plantings in the
Right,
winter
right.
aren't gonna do anything for us. So I really think it has to be both. I think it needs to be the landscape and the art.
Yeah,
And the art is harder because there's a lot more hoops, not a lot more hoops. There are some hoops you must jump through, but I think we can do both. And I thought we were kind of trying to start small with the utility boxes. We obviously need to find a utility box, which is owned by Groton Utilities. And wouldn't that be a nice place to start, where somebody could
Oh,
say,
absolutely. That would be true.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to like try to spearhead some of the art stuff when I get back. That's not a
right,
problem
yeah,
for
I
me.
know you will. I know you will. So I think we can do both, is what I'm trying to say. I think we can really do both, but we don't have to move ahead with one in order to move ahead with the other. We can, because the plantings, as far as I'm concerned, Tabitha, I mean, I also sent the landscape design to Mark Berry, who is the head of Parks and Rec. And because I thought they put in the new Sutton Park sign, which is going to be very similar to the Welcome to Town of Groton sign there at 117 and 1. And so I suggested, hey, look at this beautiful design. Couldn't we do that at the Sutton Park also? And then you have it here, at Route 1 and 117, and then just a little ways down, you have this nice big sign. Maybe we could get some plantings in there too. I have not heard back from him yet, and I also sent him the Shinnecock design idea, saying, do you have any funds to help get this moving forward?
The Shinnecock, that's a par 4.
Yes.
right.
Yeah. So I was talking to Michelle Maitland. She's the stormwater coordinator. I don't know what her title is, but she works in Public Works.
Okay.
And she was talking about rain gardens at Pequannock Park, and we both decided.
Plains Park?
Pequannock Plains Park, yeah.
Okay.
Rain gardens to catch the runoff of all the water. And we said, well, there's so much water there. The budget, she was going for a grant, and it's like $3,500. That was just too much water to handle there. But then I said, well, I just did this design for par 4, and she got excited. I think she reached out to Mark Berry. I said, beautification committee is looking at it for grasses, but maybe we could adapt it. I was going to bring it back to you and talk to you guys, because it could be a nice win-win for both of us, because if they get the grant, we could have, several $1,000s to do it. So it would be implemented. And then the design would adapt really well to a rain garden, because it's already sort of.
The other thing is we didn't even address, in that design, didn't address the plantings around the building. That was the center planting. There was also some planting areas around the building, adjacent to the building, kind of foundation plantings, so to speak. Because doesn't rain gardens, isn't that when the rain comes down the rain chains and that kind of thing?
It's sheet flows, surface water flows over either parking areas or from the rooftop down a gutter. But then it comes into a depressed landscape area, and with sand filter. So the water it drains within 24 hours.
Okay.
I think didn't the Grasso Tech students put one in right in front of social services? I think they were working on.
They did. They did.
a rain garden there. So it might be fun. I mean, they've done one. It might be fun to get them involved in another.
Right. So it's an opportunity for a lot of people to get partnership.
Right.
But Mark Berry called me today. I didn't call him back. I didn't get the chance to listen to the voicemail before I left for the day. So
Okay.
I'll let you know what he has to say.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. I've heard that name, Michelle Maitland. I don't know if I've ever met her, but I've certainly heard that name. Okay, well, it's good. All right, well, I'll reach out to Chris Conley. Now, I did talk with Rachel Franco yesterday. We had a nice talk. She told me, I just want to put this Gmail thing to bed. We did have a Gmail account. It was beautification@groton.ct.gov. She doesn't have, and she believes she gave all that information to Leanne. Leanne's going to check. So, but there is Tabitha did find out that yes, we can still do a Gmail account if we don't have a town account. Lisa says we don't. Rachel says we do. I don't want to start a Gmail account if for some way we have a little beautification committee account tucked away somewhere.
Sure.
Hopefully we can get to the bottom of that this month. But the person that Tabitha spoke with said the exact same thing. You know, you can do a Gmail account. It is obviously, that means it's open to Federal Information Act. So in other words, we can't transact business, and anything that's said on that Gmail account is open to anybody can look at it. But I really don't have a problem with that because we're just sharing stuff, you know? So I right now just would like to put that to bed for a minute until I figure out what we're going to do. Also, remember Bruce and Nancy, we have a Facebook account too.
We do?
We do. And there was remember, I don't even remember her name. There was a lovely young woman who was coming to the meetings and she was going to do some publicity for us. And obviously she has the password for the administrator because none of us can go in there and change anything about Facebook unless we have the administrator password. So
what's it called?
I think it's Groton Beautification Committee. I don't remember. So nothing's been updated in a year and a half. So I need to try to find out who that person was, and maybe if I can find some old minutes or something.
I wonder if that was Anne. Do you think that was Anne? I can't remember her last name, but she was the one who did a lot of the art and
that's
advertising.
But was she the blonde person? Like, you know, probably my age, because there was another young person too. And I don't
know. I'm so old, I can't remember.
Okay, well, we're right. So anyways, I'm going to have to look for, this is why back in the day, having a Zoom meeting would have been great. I could have gone back and looked.
So is it important? Do you think it's important that we have a Facebook presence? Is that?
It certainly
would. That would be good.
It certainly would help with the spring cleaning, and it would help if we could take pictures of everything we're doing.
Right.
So I totally forgotten about it. So right now, until next month, let's just table the whole Gmail account until we figure this out. And then either,
well, it'd be nice if we could get a Facebook account going though. I mean, because we're starting to do some things and.
Exactly. And
could we just call it something else? Can we give it a different name and open a new account?
Well, I guess I need to go search on Facebook to see what I can come up with.
I just looked at it right now and it has 334 likes. So you have 334 followers.
That's a good start. So yeah. So I think it's probably a very good idea. Also, I guess really Instagram is the big thing, but I don't do Instagram and so maybe eventually. But so the question is, how do I find out how to get into it? So that's another thing that we're going to have to, maybe it'll, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Looks
Check
like
it
it was
out.
posted as soon as recently as October. So somebody
Really?
posted to it in October.
Really? October of 2020?
Yeah, like there was a daffodil giveaway or something, and
We had a daffodil sale.
so somebody posted to it then.
I wonder if
Is,
Rachel does
is there a
have,
way to tell who posted that?
like, who the administrator
I
is.
think so.
Well, we can still use it even though if we don't have the person's credentials to get into the thing to manage it.
But how do you post?
You can
Shouldn't it?
just post,
Can't
you can
post.
post anytime you want. So you don't have to, I don't think that there's anybody there that's like watching over it or checking the posts. I don't know. When I get
Yeah,
when I get
anyone can
off, I'll
write on
try
it.
it. We'll just
I'm
try
sorry?
it and see what
Have the
happens.
what?
It looks like anyone can write something on the page.
Yeah,
Could you put though, like if we get the flyer for the spring cleanup, we could put that on there? If
absolutely.
you're not the administrator?
Yeah.
Oh,
It would
okay.
be nice to know who the administrator is though, so they can turn it over to us.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe that's what I need to do is send a message. All right. Okay. Moving on to the fun stuff. I once again, we still have an alternate committee member opening. Leanne has requested that I contact Jay Whitelow, who's on the Board of Ed. She thinks he'd be great. So I will try to send him an email. Now, Avery Memorial, moving on. Has anybody been by there? Has anybody noticed they cleaned up the trash and they put the brush hog through there and everything is trimmed down? Has anybody seen it?
Yeah, I just went by it 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
It looks much better, much
What-
better.
Much better. Absolutely. 1,000 times better. You can really see the property and you
Yeah.
can see the little bridges and stuff like that. When I did speak with Brian Kent, he said that when the last time that he remembered they'd done that, like brush hogged through there and cleared everything out, he said native ferns grew up. So I am hoping that that might happen. I'm not sure. It is mostly wetlands. Probably need to take a few trees out, but I don't want to propose taking trees out unless we have something we're specifically gonna do. Bruce, I sent you guys Brian Kent. He's one individual. He's a knowledgeable landscape design person. He is not necessarily an artist. And so I'd like to have
That's for sure.
what Bruce has to say. Yeah, yeah. So tell me your thoughts. We were gonna talk about this.
Well, I sent a response to that. I mean, I don't have it in front of me to go through it point by point, but it's pretty easy to negate any of the things that he said. And it's the prime piece of property in the whole freaking town as far as visibility is concerned. There's nothing like it. And to let that go to pot and go to waste and not do anything with it, I think is really very short-sighted, to say the least. There's no question. I mean, I can visualize it in my head right now, what it would look like with all of the stuff that we want to do to it. And it can be done. Our biggest problem is going to be dealing with inland wetland, number one. But I think that's a hurdle that's not too hard to overcome. And number two, getting some kind of a pad there for a piece of sculpture or whatever, but something that will stand up so that it's visible day and night. And I just think it's just crying for something. And it would just make a great addition to the town. And it goes right into the city there. I mean, once we get one thing done like that, everything else would fall into place, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a catalyst also. I guess my biggest concern is just the whole wetlands thing and cutting down trees. And it was, obviously it doesn't have to be used year round. I have a lot of wetlands in my backyard and they're very wet for about 6 months out of the year. And then they're not wet at all during the other part. So, but there's when Brian Kent looked at it 20 years ago, I'm sure those trees were quite a bit smaller. because I don't think any trees have been taken out in the 20 years since he's looked at that. There's a lot of trees in there.
We've got to get together with inland wetland with an idea. For instance, was it Joy Supples who came up with the concrete pad?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'll send her an email. She's obviously wasn't able to come tonight, but she said she was expecting some type of estimate very soon.
Okay,
At the last
now
meeting.
that's what we have to propose that to, what's her name, Deb.
Deb
And,
Uh-huh.
you know, that would be one idea. I have a feeling that they would shoot that down, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know, so my idea is to take some 6x6s, let's say, and build a platform in there where you're not actually putting something over the wetlands. You've got something suspended over the ground, in other words.
Right. So
So
the
that
talking wood.
something wood with a platform. It wouldn't be hard to build. I mean, I've seen it done before.
Okay.
In
It would
fact,
have
I did it
posts
on
and
my
footings,
property.
right, Bruce?
Pardon me?
It would have posts and footings, wouldn't it not?
Does it? The post would be the footings. What they do is they take and you can even do it by hand, but now they have machines that'll do it, and they just drive a 6x6 piece of treated pine or something like that into the ground, maybe 4 feet or so, because you have to go
4
down
feet?
below the frost line.
Oh,
And then you do that with like 4 corners, build a platform over it, and boom, you got what you want.
mhm.
As opposed to putting a concrete pad in there. I've dealt with Inland and Wetland Commission. I know most of the people there. I don't think they'll go for a concrete pad.
Mhm.
It's pretty permanent.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you have to build it up. That's the other thing. You know, that place is sunken down, so you have to build it up. The only way I think you can do that is with some wooden posts.
And what kind of art do you see on this platform?
Well, in my mind's eye, I'm taking my sculpture and putting it there. I
Mhm.
don't care what goes on there. My thing is that I'm willing to donate for like a couple of years until we get somebody that can replace it.
Uh-huh.
Is like 9 feet by 12 feet. It's pretty good size, and it's made out of marine grade aluminum.
Mhm.
So it's impervious to weather. And I know there's a problem with perhaps vandalism,
Mhm.
but I'll take that risk personally so that nobody has to bear that kind of a problem.
Mhm.
It's kind of isolated as far as pedestrian traffic is concerned.
Mhm.
So I don't think that it's really going to be a problem. But if it's set back a little bit, if it's done right, I think it could be done with literally a minimum of expense. And I know bunches of artists that would love to have their piece displayed like that, just stuck right out there in the middle at a
Mhm.
main thoroughfare. Maybe we could even figure out a way to put some lighting on it at night,
I
which would
think
be,
when you get back and you're rested from your travels, we need to go walk it. Let's go walk it. Walk down
yeah.
over there. Okay.
Well, we need to talk to Debbie about what might fly there. I
Okay.
mean, I can draw something up. We could propose a Joy's drawing to her, and I can make something up. You're
Uh-huh.
right. We have to go down there and actually look at it and
Uh-huh.
paste it off and
Yeah,
so
to
forth.
see like where you're talking about actually the piece of art being, like
Mhm.
where it would actually be on where on the property.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that. I can call or email Deb. We've talked about it before. I think she wants something a little more concrete because all I know is, when you have to, yes, you have to go in front of inland wetlands anytime you disturb the soil, right?
Oh,
You can walk on the soil, you can, but you can't dig it up. I don't know if that includes pushing something down into it.
I don't know. That's a possibility
It
that
usually does.
we'd have to
It does include
ask
that
them
too,
about that.
yeah, so any movement of the soil, right?
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
And it's all
But
about how much square footage you're moving. So like Bruce says, the concrete pad, would be a lot more square footage than just the posts.
yeah,
So they might be more inclined to approve that with mitigation measures.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it, making it a platform. That's what you have to kind of envision. A platform that's maybe, I don't know, 6 feet high, let's say, just for sake of argument.
Uh-huh.
And then you could anchor a piece of sculpture to that. You can certainly make that solid enough. But my problem with Kent's stuff was that we've heard all of those negative kinds of thoughts before about this piece of property, and we have to work with people to get anything different done for sure. But it
Uh-huh.
can be done, I think,
Uh-huh.
and it would just enhance everything. So
Right. Well, it's just what made me think about was a while ago, when we first talking about it, and obviously this doesn't have the whole concept doesn't have to be implemented, but she talked about a pad, some benches, some lighting. So maybe a place where people could gather. And so when Brian had suggested someplace like Aquatic Plains Park, I wouldn't bet one of my children's lives on it, but I would imagine that when the Clychester closes down, that just seems like a perfect place to have some more, they're talking about expanding some fields, and that would be nice. And then I thought, wouldn't that be nice to have a piece of
sure.
art there where you could kind of gather around it, where Joy's idea made a lot of sense, and also it's town property and it's not wetlands, and
Mhm.
you don't just drive by it. So anyways, I think there's a lot of things to think about, and I'd be happy to reach out to Deb one more time. I think, yeah, anytime you talk about disturbing the soil, but like, what would the mitigation be? Like Tabitha, like what, okay, if you wanted to disturb a little bit of soil by pounding something into it, what would they expect you to do to mitigate that? I'm not really sure. Are you muted?
Sorry. Sometimes it's like put in more plantings, more native plantings.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Well,
We
that would,
just have to try. We don't know what's going to happen, really. We
yeah,
have to propose the idea.
it would
I
certainly,
would say that if you go to inland wetland, that's a public meeting. So that's a point where people will likely come out. There's not really any neighbors to this property.
yeah,
No.
We had also talked about the fact that they're putting in that installation, between the senior center and the library, which is going to be an interesting submarine
mhm,
installation. And again, leading down to Route 1, where we're going to have our new sign so it's kind of like, my feeling is it would be nice to continue that flow and maybe do a sculpture in front of the old middle school near the town hall, do something there so that it doesn't involve, it's simple, it can be instant.
It may come to that, it's possible, but
Or not trade it off, not trade it off, but make that just another plan to do that, which might be a little easier.
I do.
And again, I get a great wall to do some art too, so that it just kind of leads you to the town hall. The town hall is, look, it's awful. It's awful.
it is awful. And that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. Because you look at that town hall and you know that all of the people sitting in the town hall have no concept of beauty whatsoever. Let alone maintenance.
That's why we're doing what we're doing.
So,
That's why we are who we are. So we're going to take that.
I know. Believe me, I know. I've been in the government there for 25 years. I know. But I'm just saying it's kind of an uphill battle. And once somebody sees something that might be attractive, I think it'd be a lot easier from then on.
No,
Absolutely.
yeah, I agree too. I actually kind of like the town hall, just saying. I think it's very, very cute, but
It is beautiful.
It's sprucing up.
Have you seen the paint peeling all off it?
I never noticed that until you mentioned it to me. Now I can't go by there without seeing it. Thank you very much, Bruce. Anyways, all right. Well, so that I will reach out to Deb and see what she has to say, and see actually what I'd kind of like to know is, what do we need in order to go in front of inland wetlands, right? Like what,
And they defer to her all the time too. When they get into that committee meeting, the first thing they do is they turn to whoever's representing the town and they say, well, what do you think, Joe? And, you know, she's usually there or one of her cohorts. So we have to start with them.
Okay, all right. All right, moving on to utility boxes. We've talked about that a little bit. I let you know that we do have a contact at Critical Signs. Looks like we need to try to find some utility boxes that aren't owned by the DOT. Does your contact have that? Could he tell you anything, he or she tell you anything like that? Like, oh, there's a box here or there's a box there, or they just look at the boxes you give them?
Well, he was just looking at the ones I gave him. I mean, I barely know this guy. Was like trying to
all right,
give him the legwork, but
okay, all right. Well, I wonder if, yeah, because when we were driving down, you know, there's a kind of a big one right in front of Pequannock Plains Park. I wonder if that, you know, it wasn't near a traffic signal. Maybe I should take a picture of that one because
yeah, I mean, if there's a couple more, I'm sure he'd be fine to check that out.
Okay, all right, okay. Because I think that's just such a good idea. Like, how do they do that where you live, Bruce? Is it all that stuff is owned by I mean,
No, their own. I don't know who owns them, to be honest with you. Not every single box down here has a vinyl wrap on it, but
right,
I would say 90% of them do.
Okay.
So, you know, it's a lot. They're much more amenable to that kind of stuff here for some reason.
Different
You know,
weather, different weather.
No, it's not that so much as it is. And these guys are pretty conservative
Yeah.
down here in Florida,
Uh-huh.
but they're used to they're just much more inclined to do things outdoors, and they like to look at that stuff. And like I say, I've gotten the details on how they do it down here. I mean, I know how they do it. And they're just more amenable to those kinds of things for some reason.
Well, maybe the state won't be that hard after all. I'll check with Chris.
I
I
mean,
wonder if there's anybody in the state that does this at all besides us just thinking about it. I mean, do they do it?
Yeah, I mean,
Like they do it in Boston. Do they do it in Hartford or Greenwich? Or I wonder if there's anybody that does it.
Yeah, because I mean, I've seen it in Austin and lots of other places, but
Yeah.
In California. But I don't know. Has anybody seen one wrapped here? And maybe I should ask him that. My contact at Critical Signs. Hey, so when have you done that? Have you done it in Connecticut?
Exactly.
What town?
Or maybe she could find out for us so that we can say to somebody from the Connecticut DOT one day, hey, look, they have this wonderful box that's wrapped on Asylum Street in Hartford.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Good idea.
Okay. All right.
And we are talking about the state routes that these boxes are on. So like Route 1 is a state route. So maybe if you want to do something on a minor road, a town route, then it would likely have Groton utilities.
I guess I need to know what roads those are. Are they like neighborhood roads? Is that
I can send you a map. It's like Route 1, 117. Oh, you mean neighborhood road. Well,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if there's an area, I mean, really the area I'm looking at right now, the corridor is Route 1, Route 12 into Route 1, you know.
Right. State.
But yeah. Well, all right.
How about Thames Street?
Cindy,
Tabitha, did you check on Thames Street?
No, I didn't, but I could if you have one that.
I'm sorry, Nancy, what did you want to say?
I wondered if you know anything about the Riverwalk project and what they're doing.
Riverwalk. The only Riverwalk I know is what up in Providence. What are you talking about?
Right here.
I know they're extending the Pequannock, that boardwalk.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the plan is.
Right. It's going to go through Midway Oval, I think, from Avery. Is it from Avery? No, from what's the farm up here?
Goes over to the state park.
Yeah, it goes over to Bluff Point. Yeah, because I went over there when you had talked about that area, the gazebo. So like that's to me where I thought it kind of ended there. I mean, there's still sidewalk, but you can go on that nice walkway and it takes you all the way up to Pequannock Bridge.
it takes you all the way to a parking lot now, that they're going to continue with a river walk that goes through Midway Oval over to the sewer treatment plant around that and connect, I think, with the farm,
Haley Farm?
not Avery,
Haley Farm?
Haley Farm, I
Haley.
think. You know, it might be interesting to find out what they're doing. And I mean, they're obviously developing something. So it's a bike path, it's a walking path. There will be people on it, and maybe we need to do something around that as well. I just throw that out to you.
Do you
Good
have
idea,
any
sure.
information on that? Can you look into that at all? Like, is
I
that,
will try. Tabitha, do you know anything about who is on?
I can look into it. I know who to talk to about it, so I'll find out.
Because I mean, that's a town, that's a town thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
probably in my.
Municipal.
The
Okay,
Mark
other
Berry
thing is,
should be involved in that, I'll bet.
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Mark Berry should be involved in that. That river walk that they have now on the Pequannock River is in terrible shape.
yeah,
I've mentioned that to Mark a couple of times, but I don't know if they've done anything about it.
I walked down there
boardwalk.
the other day. Yeah, the wood, some of it might need to be replaced fairly soon.
Yep.
the other thing was I wondered if you know anything about the Groton Trails Committee. Anybody? Groton Trails?
I know that they haven't met in a while.
Mm.
And what do they do?
They talk a lot
And
about it.
trails.
I was on the committee, so I know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, GOSA, I mean, a lot of places are trying to make it so that you can get from here to there on foot or bike or
Yeah.
anything like that, but I don't see that as connected with our corridor all that much, right this moment anyways.
Right.
But there is definitely, it would be nice if people could walk and bike along, well, you can kind of along Route 1, it's just not very pretty, you know?
No.
Or safe.
Yes, so you guys, so the Mystic garbage cans is moving right along. Okay.
Yay.
You guys, did everybody take a peek? And you know, Greg Hanover would like some feedback. I think there was 3 different seagull designs.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, look back, because he sent me the pictures and I didn't notice it first. So everybody go back and look at them. There were 3 different designs. The first
They
one
didn't
had wings and a little bit of a body. The second one was just kind of a swoop. And the third one was kind of, I don't know, looked kind of chubby. I don't know how else to say it. But so I think there was a top, a middle, and a bottom. So I think he'd like feedback on which one we like the best.
Do you still have that original email from him? Can you resend that?
I do. Of course I do. Are you kidding me? I told him, I said, I've never been so excited about trash cans in my entire life.
And how about that Compass Rose? He talked about that, but I didn't see anything.
So that was the recycling can. The one that he showed was the recycling can. So that's the recycling can. It's the light blue with the recycle with the seagulls. The trash can is going to be the dark blue, I think. Is that what we decided on? Dark blue, and that's going to have the Compass Roses on it.
I didn't
Can
see
we
a Compass
eliminate
Rose.
the orange bottom? Can we
Can you show
eliminate the orange bottom? No.
I didn't see a
asked him.
Compass Rose.
So he didn't send
is
the
there a
trash
picture?
can. He just sent the recycle can.
Oh, okay.
He just sent the recycle can. And then you know the Compass Rose we're talking about, right? The one that came from the wayfinding signs. Have you seen it?
Vaguely, yeah.
So that it's a different blue. It's that light blue color. It's blue, green, purple, and orange is the Compass Rose. So if it's on the dark blue, it should show up on the dark blue trash can. And I asked for if you could make a few different, like a couple different sizes to put them on there. And I asked for a recycle and a trash can together. Everyone should be one of each, because if you go to downtown Mystic, sometimes you have trash, sometimes you're recycling, sometimes, it's a little bit of a gamish. So, and then
it has to have the orange bottom, right?
it does not have to have the orange bottom, I don't believe.
Yeah, that thing
that's
that
the
they did
bottom
with that thing they did with the Mystic Seaport is really I don't know who designed that thing, but that's all orangey signs that they have over there. I hope they
But
don't, we
it's,
don't want anything like
no,
that. I
that
hope.
was, but I mean, the color of the wayfinding signs, it's the orange, the light blue, the green, and the purple, right? It's the 4 colors. And a
But the
lot of
orange is
colors,
on the bottom of the barrel. It's not.
Yes,
it's
Okay.
on the bottom of the barrel, yes.
All right.
it's ugly.
It is, I know.
It's
Oh,
ugly.
okay, yeah. Kind of looks like an
You know,
IED.
yeah, we don't have to match the signs. We really don't.
Well, I was
In mine.
suggesting that we have the same colors as the signs, because just to have continuity.
A
You know.
few of the colors. Yeah,
Well, it's only 4
not
colors.
the orange.
It's only 4 colors. All
Is
right.
the orange, is that why they have the orange on there? Because it's some kind of continuity with the signs?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the orange they use in the signs, but it's really minimally used, the orange.
It's really an
Yeah.
accent, kind of.
Yeah, it's an accent.
It's a little garish. I think Nancy's right. I mean, if it's exactly, blue and orange are complementary colors essentially.
Right.
And it looks kind of weird if you
Right.
know anything about that. It just should be a little more subtle if that's in their vocabulary.
Okay.
That
All
would
right.
be my only suggestion.
Is this a conversation you have, Tabitha? Is that something you had this conversation
No,
with them?
no,
No, this is all me, guys.
Yeah,
So
if they could,
Cindy,
it would be, you want a darker color on the bottom of the barrel. That would be how you would ordinarily approach that. But if you've got
And
a
it
lighter
seems to me to
blue
be
on top
dark blue. Right.
or dark blue, whatever it happens to be, it's really, if you've got a dark blue on top, you might want to put like a violet on the bottom as opposed to an orange. Or if you have a light blue on top, it's okay to use a complementary color, but you want something that isn't jarring. That would be maybe a
Make one
shade
of the
of orange that's a
stripes,
little lighter. That's my suggestion anyway.
or
Okay.
just take one of those stripes that are around the can and paint it orange. There's just a very thin stripe that separates
Yeah,
maybe
a
the
smaller
land
amount
from
of
the.
orange would do the same
Okay.
thing, but
Yeah,
not
that
1/3
looks-
of the whole can.
These are ugly.
Geez, guys, I was really happy with it. Great. All right, well, I have he's moving, he hasn't done them all yet. He just sent me the pictures. But which seagull?
I like the ones that are like thinner, that look more like a seagull, actually.
Yeah,
The one that was in the top picture, which looks like a seagull.
I like that one the best too.
Okay.
Yeah, the second one looks like some kind of a, I don't know what.
More like
Just
an
like a little
albatross.
check mark, like a
Yeah,
check
but
mark.
the third one was my least favorite.
Yeah, that was.
yeah, the
No,
top one
the
definitely
first one-
looks most like a seagull.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you said, he remembered the abstract. I've never seen it, so I didn't know how abstract, those were what they just came up with at their design thing. So I thought it was pretty nice. They came up with 3 different
It's
ones.
very, very close to what they used to look like.
Okay.
The first and second design. Yeah.
Except for the orange bottoms.
I asked for the orange bottoms, just saying. I requested the orange bottoms, so.
Oh,
Oh, you're
sorry.
the culprit.
Yeah, I'm the
Oh.
culprit.
We may not be able to go back on the orange bottoms then.
Oh,
I was just trying to stick with the colors from the wayfinding signs, because.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to use another way to do it, if you want to use the orange bottom, is to make it that solid color and then put some stripes through it, vertical stripes that are at an angle like that.
I want to make it easy. I want to make it
Sure.
easy. We're making it very complex, so I
I'm
want to
just
make
thinking
it
the
easy.
crews are gonna be like, what?
Yeah, and the other thing is
Okay.
they had to be, so they didn't need to be. I thought it would be best, and Greg, I think agreed, is that you have a slightly different color for recycling and for and for trash.
Yeah, that's
Right?
a good idea. Sure.
So, but the Compass Rose blue is light blue. So you couldn't have the light blue trash can with the Compass Rose on it because you wouldn't see the blue. So it ended up being a light blue recycling can, a dark blue trash can with the
Sure.
Compass Roses on it. So you'd be able
Okay.
to see it. And it's
With
gonna
the
say,
orange bottoms.
no, the regular trash cans is just straight blue. Straight, I believe. I haven't seen a picture. Straight blue with the word trash on it and the Compass Roses.
No orange on the bottom of it?
No, no.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So you guys, I'm having a little, I'm not having trouble, but the spring trash cleanup, it's like a lot of work and I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. Luckily, I did speak with Rachel and I immediately was in touch with both of the mayors. And Patrice got me in touch, obviously, once again with Greg Hanover and John Burt, and they endorse it. They will supply, vests, trash bags of things to pick up trash with. What I need somebody to do, so this is what Rachel did. She did the posters. The Public Works will supply a lot of stuff and they'll pick up the trash. But she came up with all these different routes. So once again, you can't do state routes, you have to do town routes because the state doesn't want to be liable. So, and she said she picked out different routes and then we all met at the library and then you went and did your route. I do have to get the information whether the trash needs to then come back to the library and they pick it up there or we leave it. I'm not sure.
I think it left. It seems to me, I remember it was left. There was like a designated spot on that route.
Okay.
And they would pick it up, I believe.
So what Rachel said was that it was that anybody with like a Girl Scout troop or young children, she'd let's give them some part of a park, part of Aquatic Plains Park or a part of Sutton Park or any number of parks. And they would go do that. So the kids were not anywhere near a road.
We did Route 1 though. We did
Yeah,
Route 1 and part of Route 12 last year.
Right, but I mean, we could do that.
That's a state road.
Oh, you're right. It is a state road. Well, I have to go back and read what I was sent.
And I think we ought to include the city this time around.
Well, I did reach out to actually I was speaking with Jill Rusk, who's the assistant to Mayor Hedrick, and seeing that today is the election, depending on how that, I realized I wasn't going to bother her until after the election because obviously there's so much going on. Let's get the election passed. My question is really, they are doing something at the library on Earth Day, so I can reach out to the library. I could post something to our Facebook page. I can, I don't know if they make I could make an announcement at the RTM meeting. They could make an announcement, at probably at the town council. I guess I'm not sure how to pull it all together is what I'm concerned about, since I haven't.
I think I also think unfortunately, I think with the pandemic and with infection and people not feeling comfortable even touching things on the ground anymore, it's going to be difficult to get people to volunteer to do this. I think it's a great idea and we can work it. Yeah. It's just going to be difficult getting.
But there's been a lot of complaining on some Groton websites about trash. And so I want to give people an opportunity to take care of that. If they don't choose to do it, that's okay. But I don't, I want there to be an opportunity.
No, I think we should sponsor it. Absolutely. Yeah. We should sponsor it. We should encourage it. Right.
Right. But I don't, and then the other thing she said is they had something, and also they need to bring their own gloves. Like, we're not going to be supplying gloves, I guess. That's just not something that she did. And she said, but they had a contest like the most unusual something found. And I guess she said somebody found like an animal skeleton. And
Yeah.
also they did who had the most nip bottles. Yeah.
Right.
So she said she actually got a couple little like gifts, like prizes. And although don't figure out, I mean, it's easy to pick out who had the most nip bottles. I don't know the most unusual piece of trash. I don't know if we as a committee vote on it.
No, they just, when somebody walked in there, they just kind of did it informally. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a virtual type of event, Cindy? So like,
No, absolutely not. It's people going
No,
out.
this is on hand.
no, I
trash.
understand
Hands-on.
that, but are you going to meet on site as a group and then disperse, or are you intending to tell people like, this is the map, you guys just go at it?
No, no, actually, the way that it's been done before is everybody would meet at probably the library or the senior center. It would be nice if there was if it was, that whatever it was open, so there was a restroom. And that we would meet there and then just take a map of where you were going to pick up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I did a trail, my boyfriend, he kind of leads up a trail maintenance volunteer organization here at Woody Hill. And we did a trail day this past Saturday. We actually just raked up the trails and stuff. And we only had 13 volunteers, but we just used Facebook. And people signed up. I went around and got people's information, and then we gave them a map. And they kind of went off in teams, and it was pretty simple.
Mm.
Okay, but like so it was just on the trail though, right? It wasn't a neighborhood.
It was like the whole park. So we gave them sections of the park.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I just think Facebook's a good way you can have an event and then.
Right, and
Yeah.
I could get the town of Groton to post it and the city of Groton to post it, I just wanted everybody to meet at 10, and then we'll give them we're not gonna have vests for everybody. You're gonna have some vests, and then
What's the date, Cindy? What is the date?
the date was the 24th of April, which is a Saturday. It's the Saturday following Earth Day.
Right.
So, yeah, so what I need is some way to figure out the different places where people might clean up trash. Let's see. Yeah, she said something about maps. All right, well, I need to obviously be in touch a little more with Greg to see if, but I need to know where we can pick up and where we can't pick up. But
We just walked up to both sides of Route 1. That was the main thing. We went from, and other people did other areas, but I mean, basically we took Route 1 and went from, where corner of Route 117 there and Route 1 and walked all the way up to just before the Big Y.
Really?
We did that whole area, and
Okay.
everybody took a chunk of it for the most part. I don't think anybody did any other places besides Route 1. Do you remember anything about that, Nancy? Was it just Route 1 or something
No,
else?
that's what I recall. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It would have been, I think the goal, we had talked about trying to get neighborhoods to get more involved. Pick your neighborhood, maybe 3 blocks of it, and come and pick up a bag and go and clean up your neighborhood kind of thing, because that's basically a lot of the trash are in the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Midway Old.
And then we left the trash bags on the side of the road, and they came by and picked them up later.
Okay.
From the town. One of the places that's really, really bad, and they're all bad actually, are those on-ramps and off-ramps to the highway.
You're right.
Like up the one from 89 is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then the same one in the city, when they come up, they just like, as soon as they go around a corner, nobody is behind them or nobody can see them. They just throw stuff out of the window, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna, I've noticed that too. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere near any on-ramps. There's just too much risk, I think.
You need to do a waiver or anything, considering that people are in the.
Yes, everybody's participating has to sign a waiver, yes.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it would be nice to be around the library, around the senior center, around the school, around Pequannock Plains Park, down Route 1, over to Sutton Park, maybe. I mean, I actually don't see all that much trash. I mean, I see it a lot, like when I'm walking, like in Mystic, there's a lot of nips and stuff, but
If you walk on the side of the road, though, if you're actually walking there, like along Route
yes,
1, you
yeah,
will be amazed at the
yeah.
stuff because it gets pushed off just a little bit into the
Oh,
grass,
okay,
and the grass grows over, and you don't see
okay,
it. And
okay,
it's just amazing how much stuff there is there.
okay, all right. All right, so you guys have any good ideas for me as far as how to, anything other than Facebook, the library?
We made up flyers too. I made up a bunch of flyers, as I recall, and we posted them around town.
Right,
I would start with that. Yeah, definitely get a flyer out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or,
so
and on
send me
Facebook,
a
like
copy.
an image.
I'll do the same thing.
Rachel made up the flyers and we
Right.
had them printed off and we posted them around town.
okay. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was thinking yeah, the printing, my husband used to do it for me when he worked at Pfizer, you know, if I had a small number of things, but I don't have that anymore. Huh.
Hmm.
I wonder if the library is doing, I went to pick up a book today and they had a copy machine sitting out there. Wonder if I don't know. Okay. All right, what were you
Well,
gonna
we have
say?
some
Yeah.
money. We could run them off. I mean, it's not a big idea, a bad idea to use. We could use that
It
place that
seems to
we.
me the town could do this for us. It certainly
Yeah.
seems to me this is something the town could
Yeah,
spring for.
good
you know?
idea. Mhm.
Okay.
You
Some
know,
flyers.
I'll remind them my taxes just went up.
Okay, I can ask.
So
I mean,
if
I
you can
think
get,
that
if you can get the,
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but Facebook is just where everybody hangs out these days.
Yeah.
So if you do a flyer, it's really a virtual one that you can post on
put
there.
it
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
Good idea.
I might need help with that whole virtual thing.
I'm happy to do it.
What were you gonna say, Nancy? Were you gonna say something else?
No, I was just going to say thank you, Tabitha. She said she'd do Facebook for us. Good.
I said I'd do the flyer for you when I post it.
Oh,
Okay. All right, I started to try to work on a flyer. It was Poster My Wall. She said it was great, but because I didn't get it yet from her, but she says it's so easy to do, but I'm not the best at that, just saying. If you want to try to put together a flyer and send it out to us, that would be great. Does it?
Yeah,
would
I
that
love
work?
that stuff. I love
Okay.
making flyers.
All right. Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
so
great.
it's the 24th.
Thank you. Thank you.
The 12, meet it. Well, I guess I better find out if we can meet at the library or actually, I have a person asked if we're doing anything from the library, so I'll ask if we
Oh,
can.
we'll be out in the parking lot anyway. It'll be out in the parking lot.
Yeah, it'll be out in the parking lot, but you just want people to be able to have a restroom if they, you know, if you're walking out around for a couple hours, you know. I think it was 10 to 2, we said.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Anything else, guys? I've already over 11 minutes, darn it.
Right.
The next meeting is Monday, April 12th at 5:30 p.m. Now, I don't know what it's going to be like in April. It could be miserable. Zoom is very convenient, but before the, well, actually last summer we started to meet outside a little bit. So I'll say let's do it via Zoom, but if it turns out to be a beautiful spring day, now it's easy, like Nancy, Bruce and I live within about 5 minutes of each other, Tabitha. I'm assuming your day is over, right? For you attend this meeting, your day is over.
Yeah, I come from Westerly.
Ooh, that's close. Well, ish. If you could.
Yeah,
What
I can
time,
do the meeting.
what time does your day end, Tabitha? What time is your day over?
4:30, 5 o'clock, but they're pretty
4:30.
flexible, so.
Okay. We can meet on my porch if you'd like, Cindy.
Yeah, I have a porch, well, between the three of us, we could meet outside. Well, let's see what the weather, could we,
Okay.
like
Why don't you meet during the day when it's warmer?
actually, and Bruce still needs to be, he was not gonna be with us yet.
No,
Oh,
that's okay.
We could still do Zoom, all Zoom together. We'll Zoom with
we
Bruce.
we have plenty of time to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, guys. Well,
Good.
is anybody like, would anybody like to move to adjourn?
So
I'll
moved.
move
All
adjourn.
right. Perfect. All right. All right.
Good.
Well, excellent. So it's 6:42. So I'll see you guys. I'm sure we'll be talking within the next few weeks. Bruce, do you want me to send you the trash cans again, or did you find it?
Yeah, no, I haven't looked. I think I probably got rid of it, but
Okay. I'll send
do
it.
send it to me again. But I think that the first and the second pictures were fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okie doke. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we shall chat again.
Okay. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Cindy.
Cindy.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Good to see everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.